Welcome, everyone. Today, we're opening a special gallery showcasing 12 ancient deities who tried to compete with the one true God, but failed spectacularly. Get ready for a good laugh, because this is the definitive collection of history's most unemployed and unsuccessful gods. First up is Baal. He was the Canaanite god of storms, rain, and fertility. Baal was essentially the pagan world's weather anchor. Since agricultural life depended on rain, people thought, if we make Baal happy, we'll get a great harvest. And how did they try to make him happy? Through dark and terrible stuff. Cultic prostitution, frenzied dancing, and sometimes human sacrifice. They thought their immorality and violence could coerce divine blessing. But then, a guy named Elijah showed up on Mount Carmel. Elijah mocked Baal's priests. Shout louder, maybe your god is asleep, traveling, or perhaps using the restroom. After they danced and cut themselves all day with no result, Elijah prayed one short sentence and boom, fire fell from heaven, consuming everything, even the stones in the water. The takeaway: never trust a god who needs a whole crazy dance party just to light a fire. The true God doesn't even need a match. Asherah, the goddess of bad decisions. Asherah, the mother goddess, tied to sex and fertility. She was worshipped under sacred poles on high hills. Sounds scenic, but it was just a cover for immoral rituals and cult prostitution. The goal? Still trying to use pleasure to manipulate blessings. They thought, the more we indulge lust, the more the goddess will favor us. The absolute worst part. King Manasseh, a king of Israel, brought her idol, the symbol of debauchery, straight into the temple of God in Jerusalem. Imagine that, the holiest place on earth, and he sets up an idol of lust there. It was an unacceptable syncretism. God made it crystal clear, no room for this chaotic worship in my house. 3. Molech, the child oven god. This is the one that gives you chills. Molech. Whether he was an alias for Baal or a separate entity, Molech demanded the most horrific sacrifice imaginable: living children burned in fire. To soften the horror, priests would beat loud drums to drown out the screams. This was worship you could literally smell death in. It was strictly forbidden, yet tragic kings like Ahaz sacrificed their own sons. The dark humor. If your god needs you to burn your kid to solve a problem, you need to fire that god immediately. The true God doesn't take life, he gives life. 4. Dagon, the fish god who took a tumble. Meet Dagon, the Philistine fish god. He was half man, half fish. Think of him as the bootleg Philistine Poseidon. The funniest moment happened when the Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant and put it in Dagon's temple as a war trophy. The next morning, bam! Dagon had fallen face down in the dirt before the Ark. They set him back up. The morning after that, he fell again, and this time his head and hands broke off on the threshold. The fish god was humiliated in his own house. Final defeat. Samson, blind and chained, hold the whole temple down, crushing the fish god and his worshippers. 5. Golden calf, the panic cow. This was the ultimate self-inflicted embarrassment for the Israelites. Moses went up the mountain to get the commandments, stayed a little too long, and the people panicked. What did they do? They melted their gold, molded a golden calf, and declared, "These be your gods, O Israel." The irony, just weeks after seeing God defeat all the Egyptian bull gods, they chose an identical bull symbol. The punchline: while Moses was receiving the first commandment, "You shall have no other gods," and the second, "You shall not make a graven image," the people were down below, breaking both of them at the same time, with music, dancing, and a fully twisted worship service. A terrible record.